Today I'm bringing you the start of a new Fate series. A Fate series is essentially me saving some time by reusing the premise of a story for multiple chapters, so to speak, replacing the character you, the listener, are being shipped with. For this Fate series, we are simply going with Brian, then Monty, Freddy, Sun, and Moon in that order. And as a special treat, if every one of these videos reaches 1,500 views before the first 24 hours are gone, I'm going to make a Sun and Moon chapter of this. So if you want that bonus chapter, you better start sharing that video on social media, alright? Well, I hope you enjoy this one, and let's get right into it. How humiliating. Sign duty, followed by a night shift. Just to get the day off on the 25th. Christmas was an interesting time at the Pizza Plex. Fazbear Incorporated loved the holiday, and the money it made them. Understandable. All those financial recoveries followed by hard hits and then slow recoveries again must have been draining their minds. The Fazbear Christmas events, as in multiple events, began with Black Friday, when the various souvenir shops got rare toys from all around the world delivered to it, such as a Samurai Freddy action figure usually only sold in Fazbear Japan, and the German variant of Fazbars that somehow managed to be sweeter than their American counterparts, yet have half the calories. Those were your personal favorite, by the way. After Black Friday, the Christmas decorations were hung up. Slowly, until all of them were hung by the 10th of December. Starting with the atrium, then the lobby, and then going from east to west of the building. The final change before Christmas itself was a special redesign for all animatronics. Yes, even DJ Music Man. The entire celebration would end on the 5th of January, with an additional event on December 31st and the 1st of January. It was the best of times for Fazbear fans. It was the worst of times for Fazbear employees. Not only did you barely survive Black Friday, a giant woman then picked you up as you tried to stop her from entering the souvenir shop as already way too many people were in the store, before throwing you into a group of more people behind her. Luckily, someone had helped you get on your feet, so you weren't that injured. You were shift guard. This meant that you had to adjust to both day and night shifts, and while your work contract had the rule to never do both shifts at once, if you wanted any kind of overtime in the hopes to force a day off, you'd need to do both more often than not. These special days off you worked really hard for were not working on the 25th, the 31st, the 1st of January, and your birthday. Those were the days you definitely wanted off. Thankfully by now, someone at the company respected that, and already in anticipation when making the yearly schedule made you have days off during those days. But also put you on double shifts on their own, which sometimes really screwed with your schedule. What you didn't know in advance were special jobs such as the one you were doing right now. Today, outside, in the cold. Sign duty. This duty entailed standing outside with a coworker dressed up as a Santa elf, pointing a sign advertising that Freddy Claus was in the building. Of course, Freddy Claus was just Glamrock Freddy dressed in a red cloak, fake beard hanging from his lower jaw, with a hat, listening to what children wanted for Christmas. Mall Santa stuff, really. You felt freezing. The costume wasn't really warm and was quite tight for you. But not in a sexy way, more in a the bigger uniform was already taken by someone else, but this one probably fit kind of way. Ironic. As a child, whenever you brought outfits, you often heard, "You'll grow into it." And now, everything was too tight. Damn it, you gasped. It was getting dark, which didn't mean much because of winter. Your air leaving your mouth in heavy puffs of air. Your coworker looked at you concerned. "You need a break?" she asked. No. Your teeth were chattering. "If I take a break, I'll be too unmotivated to keep going. This... I'll call Brian." No, please don't," you protested. Brian Chesterbill Crawford was the leader of the day shift. A good guy. Honestly kinda handsome as well. He was skinny. Hair shoulder long and black. Green eyes. Sharp face. And his skin was quite pale. Brian somehow managed to always be high on the job, yet never failed to work at perfect efficiency. Maybe he was just really lucky. Maybe he was just a people person. But because of this, he was the only employee allowed to smoke on the job. He even carved out some special privileges for himself, such as an airbed in parts and services that he napped on occasionally, a small alcove inside one of the storage rooms, in which he had his gamer pad set up, as he called it. And he was allowed to actively disrespect the robots as long as it wasn't in front of a customer. In fact, his customer interactions were incredibly nice and patient. Everyone loved him, for some reason. Even the Karens did. However, the cold really was getting to you, seeping down to your bones. You couldn't feel your fingers. "How come you're fine?" "I'm Canadian." You deadpanned. "Right." Your coworker tolerated your shivering self for only 5 more minutes, and when you could no longer hold the sign, she grabbed you by the wrist and dragged you inside. Her grip wasn't tight, but due to the cold, it hurt a lot. It felt like a rope was pulling you. And here it was, so hot, it almost felt like somebody slapped your face. "Hey, let go," you complained. She shoved you in front of Brian, who was currently inside of the atrium security office, directing security bots through a small gathering. "Hey, pothead," shouted the girl angrily. "Next time allow us to wear a jacket or something." She slammed the door behind herself, leaving you intimidated and embarrassed in front of your leader. Without saying a word, Brian took off his headset and shoved it on the head of a person next to him. "I'm taking my 10 minutes early," he said. You turned to look at him. Your face was flushed as he came closer. "Come on, give me your hand," he said, stretching out his left. Shivering, you placed your palm into his. Brian raised an eyebrow with concern. "You're freezing," he commented. "Alright, come with me." Am I fired?" He looked at you confused. "What? No. I don't even have the authority to do so. Just don't tell Amir. Got it?" Right." Flustered, you followed Brian, who was guiding you through screaming people and the blank Christmas music of the pizza Plex. He guided you to the maintenance tunnels. As the door closed behind you, all sounds were immediately replaced by the still silence of the dark maze. Down here the air was damp, smelled a bit foul, and the only thing you heard were footsteps and the vents. It was cold here. Not as cold as outside, though. Where are we going? Parts and services, he answered coldly. Why? I need to work. Here's something you need to know. Fazbear is the type of company that only meets the bare minimum safety regulations and standards, but expecting its employees to fix their shortcomings. Your luck is that I'm one of the slightly higher players in this game. Meaning, you make sure they won't know? Exactly. And what they don't know, they will not care about. Right. You blushed a little. Brian was always so nice. Besides, Brian looked at you. Besides, Brian looked at you. What kind of monster would I be having an employee die of hyperthermia while I'm in charge? That would look terrible on my record. Finally, you arrived at parts and services. Yo, Kevin, you in here? Shouted Brian in the room. Silence followed. Alright. Forgot he's at the daycare and diner place today to fix the lighting. Brian pushed you inside the room before pulling out the air mattress from a dark corner. He forced you to sit on it before throwing a blanket on you. Alright. Parts and services doesn't have cameras. If a higher-up asks, I ordered you to clean here. And you were busy the entire time. Got it? Why are you doing this, Brian? He deadpanned. Remember Black Friday? You blinked. Yeah? I was the one ordering the security bots. Right. He swept some of his hair behind his left ear before continuing. I was also the one pulling out the weaker guards against the mass of people. You were one of them. What? I don't remember. I made a security bot pick you up and get you down here. You were knocked out cold for a while. Almost called emergency services. But hey, you woke up and you were fine. So, whatever. You blinked. So you saved me. Again. But why? He shrugged. I guess my record just told you. Besides, this time nothing happened really. I'll send someone else to replace you on sign duty for now and for next time. If you're really that sensitive to the cold weather. He growled. You gulped in response. Just next time, don't wait so long to complain, alright? After all, it's not about the fact that you complain, it's about who you complain to. Got it? Got it. Once again, you blushed. You liked Brian a lot. Ever since you first met, he was just so cool. And despite the dreary and oppressive atmosphere in parts and services, you eventually managed to fall asleep. The end of Brian's shift approached. What an annoying day. Some brat vomited on Freddy, another vomited in the ball pit, in the daycare. Another one wasn't happy with the size of their birthday cake and had thrown it at him, while he was just passing by. And worst of all, some mother was upset the coupon she had run out. At least it had been fun calling the cops on her after she began violently trashing cutouts and breaking the glass of a claw machine. Sure, he had a taser and pepper spray, but he wasn't going to risk her suing him, so he went completely by protocol. We're said to only tase or spray when other customers were in danger. And judging by how harshly her hand was bleeding after punching through the claw machine, She was more a danger to herself than anything else. And as the police shoved her outside and into the car, he waved at her with a smug smile, before calling her husband to pick up the kid. The child, funny enough, a boy, had been an angel throughout the entire ordeal, so the man gave him a complimentary hot cocoa. The next thing that tried to ruin his day was the daycare attendant, who tried to get him to finger paint. But when he suggested to play hide-and-seek instead, with Son being it, he managed to sneak away. Brian was now re-entering parts and services, tired, hands in his pockets. The man wanted nothing more than to spend the final hour of his shift taking a nap. But as he sat down on his mattress, a yelp came from under his blanket. He blinked as he watched you crawl from under him. Your eyes looked tired, and you were a bit pale. You coughed. What the hell, Brian? You rubbed over your face to get the sleep out. Wait, where am I? Your brain was hurting a little. Brian had completely forgotten you were down here. He smirked. In parts and services. The memories from earlier flooded back. Oh shit, what time is it? He pulled back his sleeve, revealing a very expensive-looking wristwatch. What the? 6 p.m. How did you get that? He chuckled. The watch? Yes, the watch! I brought it. He could never afford this thing with his meager security salary. Nah, you stole it. No, I brought it with my old man's pocket money. Have you never looked into Fazbear? My dad, Lyle Chesterbell Crawford, is the current CEO of Afton Robotics. Took over after old Afton vanished. In fact, it was him who decided Afton Robotics is now also making animatronics for movies. Which, you know, was the best decision ever. How could he drop such a bombshell so casually? What? Why would the CEO of Afton Robotics allow his son to work at this dump? Brian chuckled. Because I'm the black sheep of the family. Duh. Only reason he still gives a shit about me is because he likes to dress me up in fine clothes to pretend I'm a grade A son in front of investors and the like. But I just want to be left alone, really. Sure, the money is really nice and honestly I don't know anything else, but... He shrugged. I like working here. I feel at home. As long as I do a good job. Why does it matter that I drive home in an expensive car while living in a high-rise rich people apartment, huh? Right. You blushed. Damn it. You had a crush on him for a while. Now that you knew this, it made you feel like taking any advance on him now would make you look like a gold digger. He sighed, and without warning just lied down next to you. You squeaked. What? I'm tired. He pulled his cap down to cover his eyes. I just didn't think you'd sleep with me. Sleep with you? He grinned but didn't move. Are you planning on sleeping down here even longer? You missed your entire shift. You gulped and placed a hand on his chest. Well, I can do something for you so you won't tell anyone. Would that work out for you? That pissed him off. Are you seriously thinking I would take advantage of you? Do you think so low of me? You retrieved your hand. No, just flirting. He narrowed his eyes and pulled his cap back. Well, in that case, that was terrible. Sorry. You know how I would have flirted?
How?
He placed a hand on your shoulder, looking straight into your eyes. You know, out of all the guards in this place, you're my favorite. He gave you a seductive smirk. And, to be honest, I'd love to meet up with you off duty. Your eyes widen with excitement.
And to what?
Amusement park. Not a fan of boring dinner dates. We could make out in a tunnel of love. You could make me grin by suggestively eating a corn dog. I'd win a plush for you at whatever carnival game we come across. Would you like that?
Yes, but...
You don't want to feel like you're taking advantage of me. Is that it? You nodded. And gently he pressed against your shoulder, pushing you on the mattress. Straddling his legs, he sat down on top of your thighs. His smirk as confident as ever. You know, here's the good thing. I don't believe you're a gold digger. His hands slid down your shoulders, caressing your chest, going down, stopping at your hips. His thumbs slightly pressing into your flesh. I just think you're a flustered mess. Your lips quivered with excitement. His long, pale fingers taking hold of your belt, slowly, sensually unbuckling it. He then lowered his upper body. Your faces were now so close, your noses almost touched. And I think you need a guy who fucks the ever-living daylights out of you. And I'm willing to volunteer for that.